Hello guys and welcome to episode 10 of my Ymir multiplayer series. So, we've done it. We've got the resources needed to make the Chief's Hut. So I've just come in from the world map, going straight into our capital here, because I want to show you straight up what we can now do. So, I have been saving up wood 2.8 per tick, not because we're producing extra, but simply because we're maintaining stock. We actually have gone over 50 wood. That is meaning though that our our metallurgists, even though we've only got one, they've only got 80%, and our pottery industry isn't doing particularly good. So it might even be worth trying to take off some of these, like putting these on regular for now, and firing some of them just so we save a little bit more wood. Because again, if they're not even working at full efficiency, then what's the point of having, and they're just literally sitting there doing nothing. Because we've got 5 working at 80%, and technically 1 is not doing anything. So we'll get rid of them. But what we will do is we will place down our Chief's Hut. So, we need a bit more forced labour, okay, thanks for alerting me 5 times game. But another thing I wanted to show you, which I forgot to do, is actually what leadership unlocks. So leadership unlocks loads of policies, which I already knew about. I forgot to talk about them. But the one that it does unlock, a building, which I find very useful, and I found this very useful, funnily enough, in my last series for the first time I ever used it. I thought it was brilliant, was the Brute's Hut, which we can't actually place down yet, I don't think, because we need to actually get leadership enabled. Even though it should be there. New building Brute's Hut 1, it should be there under government, but it's not. So I'm thinking that it's because you actually have to get the Chief's Hut down and the leadership enabled for it to happen. But other stuff we can now get all of these: delegated forced labour, blood feuds, summary executions, and terror patrols. So terror patrols I never mess around with. In fact, I'm not even going to bother talking about them because I don't really see the use. There are probably some good players who know the use. Like, it would be good now because you get 100% state troop authority when we've got 57 men on our state. That doubles the amount of authority they give, so we just get loads of loyalty. But it seems very wasteful. Like, you'll lose with it 30% of population culture, so you get civ points slower. You get 30% life quality, so you get even less civ points because your culture goes down even more, and then you get less births because there's less life culture, there's less intelligence, you get less intelligent, so less chance to get the text. It just seems terrible overall, so it's not something I'm ever interested in getting. Summary executions is sort of the same. The life quality, the culture, is just a lesser version of the terror patrol, so not interested in that either. Blood feuds is more of like a desperate one. It's okay if you're finding that maybe you have too many people and you're just not really getting very good jobs for them. So you get in the 15% murder rate, get less conflict, and then you get the 5 oligarchy support. So if you're willing to lose a bit of population, but you get more oligarchy support, maybe you're so low on money that you want to have some of the population killed off, but then you get the bit of oligarchy support. I think it's rubbish though, because having people is always better. Because with forced labour, which is how our money is generated at the moment, you can see that forced labour becomes increasingly inefficient as population grows, but it still increases as population grows, because the forced labour is you just telling working people to do work for you on the side, which is why it reduces their inefficiency. Because if you're telling them you want them to spend 25% of their day working for you, and that's 25% less work that they can put into their own job. So reducing the amount of people you have just means you earn less money. Delegated forced labour, though, is one I always put on, because you get 10% conflict, which is not good, but you get 10 oligarchy support. So that oligarchy support, sort of, in a way, outweighs the population conflict. As long as your population conflict isn't huge like mine is right now, because if we had 10% of 50 conflict, we get 5 extra conflict. But that still is outweighed by 10 oligarchy support, because each oligarchy support is worth 1 legitimacy. That's because here, 1 legitimacy, we've got 15 here for people approval. There's 15 legitimacy. I don't know why I can't speak today. And then if we come to loyalty here, you can see, where is it? Should be one of these. So I'm just reading the state. I wasn't seeing legitimacy. So from state legitimacy plus 15. So each legitimacy point gives us 1 bit of loyalty. So if we get another 10 oligarchy support, that's then 10 more loyalty. It literally is just a 1-to-1 transaction, so that one is actually not too bad. But we don't even have oligarchs yet. We don't have leadership, so that's not one obviously going to put on straight away. Victory of the people just means that our military now becomes like one of the things. So we can see here we have 6 military support, army strength per inhabitant. So actually our military support is really terrible. So that's not one that we'd put on. Yeah, leadership is what we're going to put on. In leadership, we've also got 2 more. We've got nepotism, which you can see here. It's a bit like that terror patrol, so we're going to get the minus culture. In this case, we get more conflict instead of less life quality. But I think it's just terrible. We do get 5 state power, which is good. And plus 5 leader superiority means if we enact the leader superiority trait, we get plus 5 for that. And plus 15 oligarchy support isn't bad, but we have to have 1 extra oligarch. So yeah, you lose 1 worker because he becomes an oligarch. That's not really the issue. It's the fact that if you then go to our next thing, which is political bribes, we have to spend extra bribes. Because you will have to bribe your oligarchs. It's just part of the game. So if you have 1 extra oligarch to bribe, it just means it's more expensive to bribe them. So yeah, I just don't think the nepotism is a very good one. It might be again one of those ones where like you're really struggling for loyalty, and so you just think, oh well, I can take a 20% population culture here, but then at the same time your loyalty is going to go down even more as you get more conflict. But then if you have the tribal council buildings, it sort of offsets it. So it's all stuff to play around with, but it's not something I ever enact. But yeah, enough yapping on about that. Let's just get the chiefs up down. Oh no, we can't. That was the thing, to get more forced labour. So let's up forced labour just so we don't have to keep upping it and upping it. Let's up it to 15 for now. That should see us go up by probably about 9 forced labour. Should go to about 10 forced labour. 9 or 10 forced labour here once it ticks over. Okay, so we've now got up to 15. So we now do have enough to afford our chief's hut. This costs 10 to maintain. So we can see 30 hammers. Oh, that's a lot of hammers used up. The main problem is all the wood it uses up. Because stone, we actually have a nice supply coming in. Our workers are just constantly bringing some in. And hammers, we've actually been producing loads of hammers. I've been actually focusing on them. So now that we've got so many, I'm going to start switching these back to hoes. Not all of them, but I want to have more hoes and hammers, because if we're going to have 66 hammers in, but we've only got 23 hoes, and I want to start expanding our farming soon, especially with the plant selection coming out soon, it actually might be worth having loads on hoes and then only having the 1 on hammers. You can also see I'm not producing any axes, but I am going to change that now, and I'm going to get critical and axes, because we've got 13 copper. And like I said, we might even get bartering soon, and I don't want to have to buy all our axes in the bartering age. So let's get them in now. Oh, let's get the chief's hut down then. Where can we put it? Again, I said last episode, I could delete these storage spaces here and put it here on the beach. But I just think it looks really bad. It looks really bad being there. So I want to sort of push out further into our grassland, which is a shame we're losing space to, you know, farm on, but it's alright. And I'm going to put it simply here, right in the middle. Buildings all sort of come around it. Yep. And now we can also start putting some roads, so let's do that. Let's actually, I've left all these nice gaps for the roads, because I do just like having the roads like neatly placed. I think it doesn't take much work, it just makes the place look so much better. A lot of people don't, and they just literally stuff buildings wherever they want, and it just looks terrible. Let's get some nice roads in. Hey, there we go, there's some roads in. Obviously not looking as good as it could do. We could nice things up a little bit with some bushes around. I've already got some bushes here, but some more bushes around, or more walls around. It's definitely looking a little bit more professional than it was previously. And let's just line this up here. There we go, and that looks a bit better now. So, chief's hut in. Why don't we go straight for leadership? It doesn't cost us anything. We're not going to have a rebellion, nothing like that. We just literally now enable it. And so the sleep should go from that. That should then show that it's being filled with 8 workers. Should happen. There we go. So that's gone. Now we're 8 workers, generating 45 state power. So that is a huge increase in state power. So we've gone from 30 state power to 20 state power. And we no longer see band societies. We can't actually compare straight away. But I remember band society gives you 30 state power. Leadership gives you 20. But you then produce 45 or more, depending on how much efficiency you have. So that's huge. We've now got our oligarchs in the territory, these capital oligarchs. And now you can see, look at our legitimacy, absolutely shrunk, because we went from having 15 people approval as our only thing to now oligarch support being our main source of legitimacy. But these oligarchs, how they work is the more wealth they have relative to the average wealth of your people, the more support they give you. So where they've only got 5 and our people have pretty close to them, they're really, really unhappy. So this is where, like I was saying, you need political bribes. So this is where it's frustrating, because it's like, because you have to spend so much of your money on these bribes. And the number you put in here is per oligarch. So if we say 2, you've only got 6 coins at the moment. Well, not 6 coins, but 6 forced labour. So if you say 2, it does equal 6. So you give them 2 each. And what it does is it gives them 2 forced labour each. This is when the more economic side of the game shows. The monetary unit value here is the value that 1 coin has. So what it's saying is the wealth of your territory, which is all the aggregate of all the different services and industry you create, it generates wealth, and that is that total here. And then that total is compared to how many coins circulate per tick in your economy, and that gives you a monetary unit value. So if you've got extremely high wealth and not that many coins circulate, obviously each coin is worth a lot more than in an economy where you have 1 million coins but only a tiny amount of wealth. As we can see here, because we have very low GDP and really good wealth, our monetary unit value is actually pretty damn good at 2.6. So that means when we're giving just 2 coins each, you can see 2 monies of income is equal to 5.2, because 2 times 2.6 is 5.2. So we want to try and actually keep this number quite high. It's not like a necessity, but it just means that this number's higher. You have to give less in bribes. Why am I looking there? In bribes, there we go. So the more forced labour you have, for example, the more coins you earn, but the less wealth your territory has, because each person produces a slightly smaller amount. But yeah, so they're going up to 10 now. So at 10, we should see our legitimacy increase quite nicely, actually, because then they'll have they'll have 10 times our average income. So let's wait and see what's going on with that. We've also seen that, look at our conflicts, going from 51 to 35. Our loyalty is messing up. I think it's because it was on such low legitimacy, but now it should be sorting itself out. But regarding this is again, I was getting really good with just having a very low amount of forced labour, but now I think 20 is a little bit too much. Let's go up to 18. Now we're gonna have to start to have a little bit more forced labour, which is a big shame. Right, having this, there are a few slums popping up, and we don't have enough. We could go for large houses, but we don't actually have enough wood, so no, we can't. And we don't have any mud bricks, so we should go for the normal houses. And just get some in here, and that'll be that last little bit done, which we can then wall off or road off here. We look at our situation. We see we've now got 38 state power spare, which is brilliant, and we're now breaking even with oligarchy support at 0. Looking at all our stuff. Our loyalty is still messing us around. It's just saying decreasing to 27, but we're going up by +1, so that's useless. But yeah, halving our conflict is really, really good. So I can, not right now, because soldiers affect loyalty, they don't affect conflict. So if we drop our soldiers, our loyalty will decrease, because it will actually decrease quicker than our conflict. But I do want to sort of free up some jobs so we can get more smelting going on. We'll have to wait and see, but with leadership now in place, that is right on track to make some good progress, because conflict's going to go down so much, there's less murders. Because if you have a look at population growth, you can see there's 28 murders, 17 murders, 38 murders, and these are all tied to how much conflict you have. So with those murders decreasing, we'll get more people, which means more workers, and more workers means we can try and get more axes, or mine more copper, or even just get some more farmers. But yeah, I'm going to end that part of the episode there, guys, because we're now ready for once we get some more resources and, you know, our legitimacy builds and conflict lowers, we can start to do more. So yeah, I'll see you in the second part.